I need your help.
Hi. I am here with Greg.
I am Greg. Do you want to do that again?
No. Greg, who are you?
I'm Greg. I'm also her boyfriend.
Yes. So, Greg, how much do you know about the hit Netflix TV show Love is Blind?
Just that it's very cringy, and it stands for everything I hate.
Oh, okay.
You've made me watch 2 episodes. The first episode of the first season and the first episode of the third season?
Yes.
Yes. There are a bunch of people, put them in a room, they can't see each other for a few weeks, and you decide, oh, I want to marry this person sight unseen. So it's like The Bachelor, but
Yes.
worse.
Okay, you're almost there. So the conceit of Love is Blind is that you'd meet these people in the pods, in these low rooms, and you can't see them. You just talk to them basically on the phone. But they get engaged within the week.
Wait, it's just a week?
Yes. And
I
then
thought this was like multiple weeks.
No. And then 3 weeks later, they have their wedding.
So literally the dating period
Yes.
is a week.
Yes.
Tina, I gotta be honest. If that was you and I and that, we would not have gotten. No.
So, Craig, believe it or not, some of these couples on the TV show did get married. They said,
Wow.
I do. Which is why today we are going to play Who Said I Do? Who Said I Don't? If you failed this quiz, getting a smooch you won't.
Oh. Okay.
Do you like? I did the animation.
Yes, it's very good animation,
Thank you.
Tina.
Here's how this will work. I will provide a picture of the couple and some highlights of their relationship throughout their respective season. You may ask one additional question to gain more context, and then you must decide if they get married or if they didn't. Extra points are gained if you can additionally guess if they are married, whether they are still together.
Oh.
And if they're not married, who said I do not or left early.
Got it.
And you need 20 points to win a kiss.
Oh.
There's 17 couples. That means there are 34 potential points up at stake.
Okay.
We're starting with season 1. Big stakes.
Okay.
Our first couple is Kelly and Kenny. The final edit did not show much of their story in the pods. They take things pretty slow, but they generally get along pretty well. They do not, however, do the deed throughout their engagement, which is it's a pretty big deal. And the other couples do believe that they will make it. This is all I can tell you based off of the show. They don't show a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all I can say.
Okay. Based on everything that you've presented for me here, yes. I feel like I want to say that they did not make it, just because a lot of it is based on you saying, like, there's literally not much else I can say based on what's going on in the show. And the fact that everybody else believes they will make it gives it a high area for it to fall. You want the couple you're going to root for, and then bam, it doesn't work out. Yes. Drama everywhere. Oh. Ratings are high.
Oh, what is your verdict?
My verdict is they did not end up together.
Who said no?
Who said no?
Mm-hmm.
The guy.
Are you ready to find out?
Yeah, I'm ready to find out. Not Mary. Kelly said no, though.
It was Kelly, yeah. So I'm going to tell you what happened now.
This is a great picture for it, though. Give me your hands. Give me your hand. This is very much, this is like, I'm sorry, I can't marry you.
So Kelly said that she wasn't ready to get married and felt that her love for Kenny wasn't as strong as his for her. Because Kelly was very hesitant to have a physical connection, because that's a lot that's what was one of her primary focuses in previous relationships. Mm-hmm. So she wanted to focus on the emotional connection that they had. So she was like, oh, I want to hold off on, like, doing it. They planned to continue dating after the wedding, but they actually broke up on the last day of filming. But, Kenny's now married to someone else. Kelly's living her best single life. She has a lot of, podcasts and other health things and whatnot. So,
Good for them.
That is 1 point for you so far.
Woo!
Next couple, Amber and Barnett. Let me just tell you right now, Barnett's name is actually Matthew, but he goes by his last name throughout the show. So he's called Barnett.
So he's Schmidt?
I guess, yeah.
He's Schmidt.
Yes.
Okay.
Barnett was also interested in a girl named Elsie and Jessica, who we'll talk about later.
Okay.
And had a lot of difficulty figuring out his feelings. Amber has major financial issues, which wasn't revealed until after they got engaged and, started living together and stuff. Barnett's family is hesitant about their engagement. They expressed a lot of doubts about it.
Okay.
And Barnett plays the ukulele.
You made sure to include the ukulele thing for sure for specific reasons. I already have thoughts brewing in my mind.
What you thinking?
It's obviously leaning more toward that they obviously did not get married, and it was more on his side because there's more reason, like him trying to figure out his feelings. What was the timeline of figuring out feelings? Was it within the first week of their engagement?
It was within while they were talking in the pod. You know, they were still dating each other, deciding who to get engaged to. Barnett was talking to Amber, Elsie, and Jessica. He was like, oh, back and forth every day. You know, as one would imagine, dating a bunch of girls in a week period.
In a pod.
Yeah, he liked Jessica a lot, and he had told her that if there were no other guys and no other girls, he would have proposed to Jessica.
That's kind of a mean thing to do. It's like, you know what? You're great. If there were literally no other options, I would choose you. But because there are other options.
And then he also spoke to Elsie for the longest time. For Elsie, Barnett was like her only option, you know?
Yeah.
So Barnett finally told her no, and she was like, well, he really broke her heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And may I remind you, this was all within like a week.
God, this could go either way for me. Because on the one hand, he is the major red flag that's going through it just from the stories I've heard thus far.
Uh-huh.
And I could see her wanting to end it right there for the murky waters of the feelings. Mm-hmm. Her financial issues, that's a thing. But she's kind of living in it, and she probably is like, I'll figure it out eventually. He's obviously the kind of guy that will make a bad decision and commit to it. I mean, look at that jacket. He's obviously the kind of dude that will commit to a bad decision, even though it's awful.
Yeah.
And it's staring you right in the face, or in this case, in the mirror. But I'm going to say it did not happen, and she called it.
Okay, is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
Okay, well... They're married.
They're married.
And they're still together.
They're still together.
Yes.
Wow.
Does that surprise you?
That does surprise me a little bit. On this picture, she's like, oh, we're married. And I just need to just pull the life right out of your throat now.
I will also add, there's a lot of the Love is Blind community who are less enthusiastic about this marriage in comparison to like other marriages throughout the show. There's also a lot of like drama that happened during the reunion episodes. She's portrayed as very like immature and very possessive of Barnett. She gets into a lot of arguments with like the other girls, and she's like, "Oh, well, I'm married now.
I never would have guessed that she's possessive after the full-on throat grab she has in their wedding pictures.
Yeah, there's drama that happens later, and like one of the girls tries to like offer like a peace gift, and Amber's like, "I won't accept it."
Oh, that's just rude.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed, you girl. I was giving you the credit in this one. Now I'm disappointed. You've let me down a little bit.
Next couple! Remember what I was going to say? We were talking about Jessica. This is Jessica and Mark.
Okay.
So, Jessica was also interested in Barnett. And she originally broke things off with Mark to pursue Barnett. Because Barnett had told her if there were no other guys, no girls, he would have proposed to her. They have a 10-year age gap, as you can see. Jessica's 34, Mark is 24. Mark is my age at the time of filming. But that was a big focus in like the final edit. Jessica struggles with a physical connection when they first meet, and Mark has a dog.
What kind of dog?
I think it's a golden retriever.
What's the dog's name?
I don't know, Greg.
These are important
facts.
Interesting. Struggles with a physical connection when they first meet.
Mm-hmm. I will say that is also running through like a lot of couples, just because they're just like matching the voice to this face that you've now just seen for the first time.
Yeah.
There's a disconnect there.
Got it. It seems like the murkiness of the situation. There are so many ups and downs that I'm getting the vibes like, obviously it wouldn't work out, but I feel like maybe they committed to it as like, let's just put our best foot forward and just see what happens. So I'm going to say married, but no longer together.
Okay, final answer?
Yes. Not married. Jessica said no. Damn it. Oh my god, the image. Isn't
that a cool image?
Dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, so Mark did say yes, and Jessica said no. Jessica believed that neither of them were ready to get married. That's the statement that she gave at the altar.
Yeah.
I will also say throughout their engagement, I believe she still had feelings for Barnett. They would have arguments a lot, and she would bring up like, oh, Barnett is like sexy. Jessica is also nicknamed Jessica the Messica.
You've mentioned that name before.
Because on the show she drinks a lot, and she was very messy. During the reunion episode, she did seem to have, reflect on stuff, and she's like, I feel a bit silly now. And she was the one who tried to offer Barnett and Amber like an anniversary gift as like a let's make peace, but you know.
It didn't work out.
Yeah. So Mark dated Elsie. We don't see Elsie in this slideshow.
Okay.
But Mark dated Elsie very briefly, but they broke up. But now Jessica and Mark, they're both married to different partners. Mark has 2 kids.
Oh, good for him.
You know, so it worked out, just not with each other. Next couple. This is Diamond and Carlton. So they hit it off in the pods immediately. They instantly connected with each other. The day Carlton proposed, Diamond saw a ladybug, which she took as a sign from her late father, because like ladybugs in her life. Isn't that sweet?
That's nice.
Oh. Carlton is bisexual, but he has decided he wants to marry a woman. He's decided. He's settled. Just because the show, like, it's very straight, you know.
It's obviously yes.
Yeah. So he's decided he wants to marry a woman, and their relationship dynamic changes once they meet in person.
Okay.
That's all I got.
What was their, I guess, reaction to seeing each other physically? Like how you said previously, some of the people struggle with the physicality of the other person being attracted.
Oh.
What was that dynamic? Did it come up with them at all?
No, they were very excited to see each other. From what I could tell from like them, this is the picture of them meeting, obviously.
Okay.
So from what I could tell, they seemed very excited to get married. They were all in for it. They were excited to see each other. They had a little smoochy smooch. You know, he put on the ring. It was a big thing. Yeah. But they seemed to have got along when they first met.
I'm going to say it didn't work out. They didn't get married. And it's literally, everything else seems like they would make it and it's going to work out. Mm-hmm. It's just that last bullet point. If it weren't for that last bullet point, I would say they got married and maybe even say would still be together. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say it didn't work out. Girl likes a sign from her father. Mm-hmm. Maybe she saw another sign. So I'm going to say she called it.
You think Diamond said no?
I'm going to say Diamond said no.
Okay.
You gotta explain this one.
Yeah.
That is a picture, yo. That is a picture.
This was the controversy of the season. Okay.
Really?
So, remember how I said Carlton's bisexual?
Yeah.
And so he said he previously had he's had relationships with medical alcohol.
As you do when you.
He did not share this with Diamond until after they got engaged and they went on the engagement trip that happened.
So she didn't know he was bisexual.
She did not know until after they got engaged. This devolves into a big fight, you know, the next day. So she's upset that he wasn't upfront about it, right? And then he's upset because she doesn't seem to be very accepting of him being bisexual.
Yeah, that's garbage.
So that becomes a big argument. Let me see, what did I write here? Carlton flings their engagement ring into the pool, calls Diamond a bitch. She throws a drink on him and storms out while quoting Beyonce. It's messy. It's so bad. Yeah. So they left like mid-engagement. Did not even make it to the wedding.
I don't get any bonus points on that one.
No, you do. No, because you said Diamond said no. So Diamond left. She did literally stand up and walk away. So I will say that she's the one that walked away.
What was the Beyonce quote she said?
I don't remember. I honestly only know it was Beyonce because the recap article said it was Beyonce.
Got it. Okay.
So I don't know what the quote was.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Next couple. This is Giannina and Damian. They had a wacky proposal. So during the proposal, Damian put a bow tie on his wrist and he had an empty box for Giannina.
Bow tie?
Yeah, like a bow tie. He put a bow tie on his wrist and he's like, I am your gift, because he was thinking about things to give her for the engagement.
So they were already engaged and he said, I am the present?
No, the proposal. It was a proposal present.
Okay, the proposal present.
Yes.
Okay. And is that customary? You're supposed to bring a gift in this show?
No, not really. He just wanted to come up. He's like.
He just wanted to be a little extra.
Yes.
He wanted to have a little flourish.
Yes. He was telling her, it's like, oh, you know, I was trying to think of things to put in the box about like the things I could give you or whatever. And then he was like, if you open the box, you see there's nothing inside. I have a bow tie. I have it on my wrist.
Fucking
I am
extra.
your gift.
Jesus Christ.
And then Giannina also was like, stand up. You know, I believe we're equals, you know, blah, blah, blah. So she knelt down to propose to him as well.
Okay.
And that was their proposal. Anyways, they get into a lot of arguments over little things.
What's a little thing? Like she doesn't like cheese in her crust and he does when it comes to pizza?
It's just like little things. So adding on to that, Giannina constantly tests him because she's the one who picks the fights a lot.
Okay.
You know? Damian risked his job to be on the show because he had to be away for like a long period of time. Meeting the parents wasn't the greatest process. I will elaborate on this one. Damian's parents canceled on meeting them and because they don't really approve of the whole process. So
like the TV show?
Yes.
Okay.
They don't approve the whole process, so they just cancel flat out. And then Giannina's parents, they were just honest about her not possibly being ready for marriage.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. I have my thought. I want to ask one question.
Yes.
The whole meeting the parents wasn't the best process. One of them was upset about the process.
Yes.
The other one was just thinking that she wasn't mature enough to be married yet.
Yes.
Personality-wise, of the person that they were bringing,
oh,
did the family get along with the person?
I don't think it was a disapproval of the person. I think it was just more doubts about the process. I think it was more of like, it's like, are you sure you're ready to get married? You just met. You just, you didn't even see each other before you got engaged,
I am going to say that they got married and they still got married because this list right here says, I'm going to guess I got it wrong just because of your immediate...
Well, no, I just wanted to hear what you were thinking.
Okay, this list, it reminds me of that couple that's always doing this stuff. And it's like, how are they still together? They seem like the kind of couple that just, obviously, everybody thinks shouldn't be together, but yet they persist anyways.
So, married, still together?
Married, still together.
Okay.
Not married? Damn, I'm off today.
Yeah, so they didn't get married. Damian said no. Damian said that he couldn't handle the ups and downs of Giannina's feelings for him, and he saw that she was not ready to get married. Giannina had a big, dramatic, running away kind of exit. And then when they tried to, how sometimes they'll have the couples, talk afterwards after they say no to, try to, reconcile things,
Yeah.
But it's like she ripped off a part of her wedding dress, tied it around his wrist, and said, "You can have your bow back."
See, I was right about half it. They are that fucking couple.
Yeah.
That's like everybody's upset about it,
Yes.
and they shouldn't, but they did not persist.
I will say they did date after the wedding for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, they did date afterwards.
So, oh my god. That's so upsetting.
But they did ultimately break up. Giannina is now in a relationship with somebody else, and they both seem to be living their
I think
best
this is the
lives,
one that I've gotten wrong that I'm the most upset about, because
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I was steering in this kid because everything was so blatant of it that I thought this is going to be one of those surprise 180s.
Well, you'll get them next time, champ.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Next couple. This is Lauren and Cameron.
They seem fun.
They hit it off immediately in the pods, just like Diamond and Carlton. They hit it off immediately. They are the first people to say "I love you" in the season. Okay. There's a big emphasis on race in the final edit. As you can tell, Lauren is black, Cameron is white, and that's a big thing that they focus on in the edit. Is it the only aspect of that about the relationship? Definitely not. But in the final edit, big emphasis. Cameron performs a rap when they meet Lauren's mom. I think it's a very cringy rap.
Oh my god, Goofy. This is turning.
And Lauren experiences doubt closer to the wedding date. She gets nervous about being married and committing.
Oh my god. I know this is not going to help me answer in any way, but I just want to know, what was her family's response to his rap?
Lauren's parents are divorced, so they met the mom first and then they met the dad later. So it was just the mom. The mom loved it.
Okay.
She was here for it.
Yeah. Dad?
I don't think he rapped for the dad.
Okay, that's good.
Lauren's dad is a big part of the activism community that's in, I think this was filmed in Atlanta. So he's a big part of the activism community in Atlanta. And so he just grilled him. It's like, hey, have you ever been in a room with black people before? Have you done this, that? Cameron handled it pretty well, I honestly think. Because he said he was previously in a relationship with a black woman before this as well. I'm
going to say that they made it. Because if the fact that his cringy rap didn't go, and honestly, just the way she's looking at him is a big part of it. I'm putting all of it aside, and I'm literally just looking at how she's looking at him. Yeah. So I'm going to say they got married.
Are they still together?
That's a toughie. I'm going to just dive into it. Say, yeah, they're still together. It's
married, still together?
Married, still together.
All right, here we go. You did
married,
it!
Still together.
That's 2 points for
I was going based on the look. So yeah, the way she was just looking at him, yeah.
Yeah, this is arguably the most successful marriage of Love is Blind.
Yeah.
They have a YouTube channel together. They published a book together. Also, all the fans love them because they're just perfect. Look at them. They're just perfect.
I will say I am envious about full evenness of his beard, especially going into the fade of his hair too.
Okay, well, we made it through season 1. Score check.
We're doing all 3 seasons?
Yes.
Okay.
You have 5 points.
Okay.
I believe in you. You can do it. So, This is season 2. We're starting up with a couple that you've heard the most about. So I think you'll know the answer already.
Okay.
We're starting off with Deepti and Shake. So, they both bonded over being Indian and typically dating white people. That's like a thing. They're like, oh, we're the first like brown people that we've ever gotten a relationship with. Shake fixated a lot on physical features while in the pod. So he would ask questions like, oh, could I put you on my shoulder at sorts of music festivals? Yeah. Shake lost physical attraction during the engagement, comparing it to being with his aunt. And Deepti was fully committed throughout the engagement.
All right. You know what? I know they did not end up together.
Yes.
They obviously did not end up together.
Yes.
The question is, who ended it? Everything is steering me to the guy didn't end it, but I really want this. I really want this for the girl. Everything is leaning the other way, that the guy is the one that called, because he just seems like a piece of shit based on just the things like, can I put you on my shoulders at a concert? That's such a trash thing to ask.
Ring, ring.
So, they did not work out. In terms of who called it, it's feeling like he's the one that called it, because he's just giving like that fucking asshole kind of vibe. But I want her to be the one to just kick him to the curb,
so
you know?
You say not married, Shake said no.
I'm saying Deepti said no.
You saying Deepti said no?
Yes, because I want her to be able to say no.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, mainly because I'm not really learning anything about Deepti here. It's looking more like just Shake sucks here, Shake sucks here.
I can tell you her last relationship was 6.5 years long.
So she's a committed person. Okay. Yeah. But I'm going to say I want this for her. I want her to be to tell this guy bye.
Okay, final answer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah! Go Deepti! Team Deepti over here.
That's 2 points for Greg.
Yes, yeah, go Deepti.
So Deepti said no. She wanted someone who was 100% certain about her. So, in her words, she chose herself and said no. So once Deepti left the altar, Shake still tried to bring the party vibes. You know, you saw the clip. You told me about the clip.
Oh.
That's where he was like, come on, there's still a party.
Oh my god, what a fuck.
And he was telling people, you know, there's a net positive emotion. You know, he's sad that she left, but like there's still like a lot of love. He still has a lot of love for her, you know. In the reunion episode, Shake very famously said, love is blurry. Because, like, he was just talking about, like, you know, like, you need to be physically attracted to someone, and then blah, 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 blah. The other people in the show were just like, bam, bam, beating him down, you know?
So he just sucks.
Yeah.
He sucks.
Deepti briefly dated Kaya. No, wait. I'm not going to say. I probably shouldn't have said that. Ignore what I said.
Okay.
So Deepti's currently single, but Shake is in a relationship with someone else, you know?
Okay.
So it's fine.
You know what? You go Deepti. I'm Team Deepti over here, just based on that little information.
We're all Team Deepti, Greg.
Yeah.
We're all Team Deepti. We love Deepti. Next couple. This is Danielle and Nick. So, Danielle and Nick both bonded over both of their parents being divorced. They're like, my parents are divorced. I wouldn't want to go into a marriage and, like, you know, also go through that divorce process. Okay. You know. They were the first to get engaged in the season. After they got engaged, they had like all the couples had a big party get together where it's like, oh, meet these other people for the first time, you know, see their faces, you know, stuff like that. So Nick went to this party and with the other couples, but Danielle had food poisoning. She wasn't feeling well, you know, but that eventually led to a big fight because Danielle was sitting in that room, you know, she was like having a panic attack. She was feeling bad, and like just like Nick was like, you know, not making it better. So it led to a very big fight. Danielle does have anxiety, which does lead to a lot of arguments. And Nick makes his own toothpaste. Doing a little fun fact. Just a little.
Nick makes his own. I know you don't have the answer, but what is he putting in it?
It's like baking soda, and then like there's like another powder, and then like I want to say charcoal, but I'm not quite too sure. But like he just like mixes that's his toothpaste.
That doesn't sound right. I know brush with baking soda helps
baking soda.
Yeah, brushing with baking soda is a thing. That's something that helps get whiter teeth, but it doesn't necessarily mean like healthier gum wise.
I don't know what to tell you.
Sorry, I'm focusing on the wrong thing. I am going to assume that they did not make it. First and foremost, what stuck out to me is you don't have a picture with them together.
Okay, no, for season 2, season 2, they upped the production value, so that each person got their own individual picks.
Yeah.
So then someone took these individual picks and just put them together.
Interesting. I'm gonna say it didn't work out, and I'm gonna say Nick ended it. The man makes his own toothpaste. He knows what he's about.
So you're gonna say Nick said no?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Nick said no.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Weird, but they filed for divorce.
Yes.
Okay.
So they, despite all their arguments, they still got along pretty well. Everyone seemed pretty supportive of them. But yes, they filed for divorce in August of this year.
So how long were they married?
I want to say maybe about a year or two.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly when season 2 filmed. They seemed to struggle to make the relationship work after filming ended, and they appeared to not be on speaking terms. So it's pretty rough. It's a pretty rough divorce. Yeah. Next couple.
Yeah.
So this is Shayna and Kyle.
Both of these look like rejected, like yearbook photos. Shayna has the whole like I am the popular girl at school and I'm gonna take my photo really well. And this guy just took his photo with the yearbook photographer. Doesn't say anything like about their personalities. I'm just yeah.
So they have major disagreements on religion, and this became an issue when they met Shayna's family. To clarify, Shayna is Christian. Kyle is an atheist.
Okay.
Kyle proposed with his mother's engagement ring, saying that Shayna reminds him of his mom. Can we talk about those little Oedipus vibes? But anyways, Shayna was also interested in Shayne, who we will talk about later.
Shayne and Shayna.
I know. And Shayna said that she still had feelings for him after she got engaged.
Okay. And
they spent their first night in person in separate rooms.
Ooh. I have 2 questions.
Yes.
Who was the major problem of religion for? Was it a bigger issue for Shayna that she was marrying an atheist? Or was it more of a thing for Kyle?
It was a problem for both of them.
Okay.
Because they talked about if they had hypothetically had kids, how would they raise them? And that became a big thing. They both called each other brainwashed.
Just on that sentence alone, they should not be together. Not they didn't get married. That they just shouldn't be together.
Yeah.
If you're not respecting each other's core beliefs like that, you shouldn't be together.
I will say that Kyle was more willing to put that aside.
So is she go to church every Sunday kind of?
She's the doesn't believe in evolution kind of Christian.
Oh, I went to 18 years of Catholic school. I know too many of those people.
Yeah.
Awful. Okay, I'm gonna call it now.
Yeah.
So I feel they did not end up together, and if they did, they shouldn't be together.
Yes.
Just they shouldn't. And I'm gonna think she called it, just hearing that she's the doesn't believe in evolution kind of thing. But honestly, it could have been either one of them to call it off, from what I'm gathering. I believe that she's just not gonna listen to reason. She's gonna do what she wants to do, and I'm gonna say just that little degree makes that she's the one that called it.
So you're saying that Shayna said no?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so you were correct. That's 2 points for you. Good job. Yeah, so Shayna left during their engagement retreat, and then it gets complicated. So Shayna still had feelings for Shayne, and that's what she said, right?
Okay.
And so she left after the first night. They met up by the way, this was filming in Chicago. So they all met up.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, that building, look in the back. That's right there where the river diverts.
Yeah. They tried to, make things work while they were in Chicago. But once again, Shayna left to do her feelings for Shayne and also her religion. Yeah, so Kyle briefly dated Deepti. This is what I accidentally almost said to you. But yeah, so they briefly dated. It's not working out. Shayna is now married to someone else, and Kyle is in a relationship with someone else. So, once again, it seems like they're doing well now.
When was this filmed?
I want to say maybe 2020, 2021 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so relatively recent.
And she's already married?
Well, she found someone else,
I mean,
yeah.
I guess these people go on the show, they know what they want. They're ready to put that ring on right now.
Yeah, if they're ready to get married, I guess.
Yeah.
Next couple. Speaking of Shayne, Natalie and Shayne.
Oh, I think I saw this dude.
Yes. No, this is the TikTok dude.
This is the TikTok dude.
Yes. So Shayne mistook Natalie for Shayna once in the pods, and this was pretty egregious.
Yes.
Because
I don't watch the show, but I did see this guy in many a TikTok.
So it's egregious, especially just because his relationship dynamic with Shayna was a bit more sexual. He'd always be like, "Hey, what are you wearing?" He's like, "Oh, that's pretty hot." But like with Natalie, it's a lot more emotional, a lot more intellectual, you know.
Yeah.
So when he mistook her for Shayna, he immediately asked her, "Hey, what are you wearing?"
Okay.
Which was not, what Natalie was expecting. They have different financial philosophies. Natalie, is interested in buying a house and having good investments.
Yeah.
And Shayne doesn't like 401ks. Natalie often jokes around, which Shayne doesn't like. So Natalie does make a lot of jokes a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And Shayne often shuts that down. And the other couples on the show thought that they were the strongest couple. All the other couples, they're like, oh, if there's a
was
couple
it that bad a season that everybody else just thought that they're the de facto best couple?
I don't know what to tell you, Greg.
So she's a consultant, he's a real estate agent?
Yes.
That's how he takes a picture and he's a real estate agent? That whole job is just smiling on a billboard.
I will say, if you see him in person, he does present a little bit better. This is just a rough picture, I think.
Is that even a smile?
I don't know.
It just looks like he's just showing off upper teeth.
Greg, just tell me if they're married or not.
I'm going to say they're not together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that Natalie called it. I'm not going to say anything else other than that.
Final answer?
Yes.
You did. You got it right.
Got it.
That's 2 more points for you, Greg.
Yeah.
Good job. So, here's what happened. They got along pretty well, The night before their wedding, they had a huge fight where Shayne told her that he hates her and that she's the worst thing that ever happened to him. And that became a huge factor for Natalie saying no. At the altar, she said that they still had big issues that they needed to work through. And so that's what happened. They dated for a few months after the wedding, but they ultimately broke up.
They still dated after that?
They wanted to see if they could work things out.
This is one of those moments where it's just, I'm upset at reality TV.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck reality TV.
I've seen Natalie on TikTok a lot recently. I don't know why.
Well, this was a Chicago group, right?
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say.
I've seen her in person. No.
We get lunch on Tuesdays.
No. Next couple.
Okay.
This is Iyanna and Jarrett. They were both very vulnerable with each other in the pods. They shared a lot of personal information. If you want to know what the personal, I have the things here, but
all right.
Iyanna, she didn't grow up in a very stable home. She didn't grow up with her biological parents. I think she lives with her godmother now, I believe. She was when she was 17.
Oh.
Yeah. Jarrett, a year before they filmed Love is Blind, he was stabbed by a friend and nearly died.
Damn.
It was so they were very vulnerable with each other in the pods. Jarrett was also interested in Mallory, who we will talk about.
Okay. Who
ultimately rejected him. Jarrett keeps gifts from and maintains connections with his exes. Iyanna is introverted, Jarrett is they just have different lifestyles.
Okay. So
Jarrett likes to go out and party, and Iyanna likes to stay in.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say anything toward the introvert and extrovert, because I think I'm extroverted and you're introverted, if we had to put it down to that. Doesn't mean somebody doesn't work out. I mean, I think I'm extroverted.
I feel so betrayed.
Is that
Oh, Greg. Okay.
The YouTube video is about to be I break up with my boyfriend during
filming
a YouTube video.
I want to add one more thing.
Okay.
Jarrett's dad offered to officiate the wedding when they met the parents. Jarrett's dad was I would love to officiate your wedding.
Okay.
That's it.
Damn. This is a different one. This one's a little harder just because these are just two people with some slightly different personality. They have some strong similarities. They can trauma bond all day long if they want to. Mm-hmm. If they don't work out, I say that it's just two different personalities. Compared to all the others, there wasn't a big glaring thing at me that's so obvious they don't work out. So I'm going to say... Oh.
Before you do, I think I should provide more information about the Jarrett was also interested in Mallory. In the pods, Jarrett asked Mallory if she were to propose, would she accept? And that's what she said. She felt a stronger connection with someone else and turned him down. So after that, he then proposed to Iyanna.
Okay, so he was kind of weighing his options a little bit.
Yes.
All right.
But that caused a lot of trouble because Iyanna then felt like a second choice. You know?
Yeah, it's
like,
not easy.
Oh, yeah.
That's not good, but that's kind of the unfortunate part of the show, so you gotta keep that in the idea. I'm gonna say they got married,
yes,
but they filed for divorce.
Is that your final answer?
That's gonna be my final answer.
You nailed it.
Yeah. That's just a case of people who, like, it's all well and dandy, but nothing's the worst compared to some of these other couples. They just two people who just probably just shouldn't be married.
Yeah, so they also filed for divorce in August of this year. They cited irreconcilable differences in the court documents. They seem to be mostly amicable, but their divorce was finalized literally like maybe 2 weeks ago. So, you know.
This was just a case of these people like,
yeah.
They're not the worst out of some of these people who are just hot garbage.
Yeah.
They're just people who just shouldn't be together.
Yeah. Alright, next couple. This is Mallory and Salvador. Remember I told you we were talking about Mallory? This is Mallory and Salvador. So they bonded over Mexican parentage. They both have a Mexican family. Mallory didn't feel a physical attraction to Sal when they first met.
Ooh, rough.
She was also interested in Jarrett, but turned him down for Sal. She said, I had strong feelings for Salvador.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So she wasn't physically attracted to him when they first met, but she liked what was on the inside.
Yes.
The press.
Yes.
Okay.
Sal's ex showed up to his sister's apartment, and that caused an argument between the two. I can clarify exactly what that is later. And Sal plays the ukulele. And he plays other instruments. He's a musician.
But the ukulele is a red flag.
He plays other instruments too, and you know, he wrote some songs for her.
That's nice. I feel like you have something to say based on my comment of that's nice.
Yeah.
Were they good songs?
I mean, they're like cheesy songs. They're love songs.
Yeah.
Know? They're like, oh, Mallory, you know.
Yeah, but were any of them just bad?
I don't think they were bad songs. They were just really corny.
Okay. This isn't necessarily a question, but what information can you give me about the Sal's ex showing up at the apartment?
Sal broke things off with this ex to do Love is Blind.
Oh.
But apparently they had never clearly communicated about breaking things off. So
she thought they were still together?
Kind of, sort of. So the ex showed up and she was very upset about that. Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Oh man, come on, bud.
Yeah.
Dude. Did they have one of these guys also on The Bachelor too? There was I remember this whole thing. I heard my mom and my sister go on about it. There was a Bachelor contestant that did the same thing where they were still in a relationship.
Yeah.
But then they pieced out for like a bit to go do the show.
Sal says they had communicated with each other. Like they wanted to that they could see other people during this time. You know,
okay.
what happens. Yeah. Not a great look for Sal.
Okay, my one question. It's still focused on the ex showing up at the apartment.
Yes.
Were they at the sister's apartment? How did the ex know that Sal was there?
No, Sal wasn't there.
Oh.
She just showed up to his sister's place.
They just heard about it?
Yes.
We never actually meet the ex.
No, we do not.
I thought it was like a confrontation thing.
No. We just see the aftermath. We just see the aftermath of Mallory and Salvador talking to it.
Okay. I'm going to say did not make it. I'm just going to say Salvador cut it off just because I don't think out of the ones we've seen, there hasn't been many where the guys cut it off. And I feel like we're getting due. There's nothing else.
We're due for a guy to say no.
We're due for a guy breaking it off.
Okay.
Power to the ladies for getting out of them toxic relationships.
Yeah.
But no
other reason?
No other reason. I just feel we're due.
Okay, ready?
Yeah. Woo! We were due!
Jesus Christ.
We were due, Tina. Sorry, but damn, we were due.
Okay, so there's 2 more points. Basically, Salvador said that he needed more time to figure things out. Once Mallory left down the aisle, he spoke to her family and friends and said that he could only give his truest self and most honest choice. Salvador went first, so Mallory didn't get to give an answer. Mallory said that she didn't know what to do if she went first. How do
they decide who goes first? Because there was that other clip.
That's a producer decision. I don't know anything. But she might have said yes if he said yes. After the wedding, which is what this picture is right here, they talked. They seemed to be pretty amicable, you know.
Yeah.
They're like, I totally understand. But they didn't really continue dating after this. And then there's some big drama in the After the Altar reunion episodes. That's a whole other thing.
Like what?
Well, just because Salvador's currently dating someone else, and then there was some weird shit, but people are very team Mallory now. Salvador's currently dating someone else. Mallory, from what I could tell, is still single. you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Nature of the show.
Yeah. But honestly, from the way the season was, this is probably one of the more amicable breakups.
Compared to others that were in the same season.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, this is the last couple of the season. We are now at season 3.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. This is season 3. This is the final season. There are only 5 couples. So season 1 had 6, season 2 had 7, or maybe there's 6.
We're gonna find out.
There's fewer couples in season 3 than there have been in previous seasons. You currently have 15 points.
Oh.
So you're 5 points away from winning.
Nice.
Which is, I think, good for you.
Good.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. This is Alexa and Brennon.
Ah, the shakshuka people in that first episode. Yeah. That's the first one. First one. That's what I remembered.
Brennon's the shakshuka guy.
Yeah.
Alexa is Jewish. Brennon is Christian. So they have different religions, but they both still believe in God. They were the first couple to get engaged in the season.
Okay.
They generally get along pretty well throughout the engagement. There's not really any big problems that I could see throughout the season. Alexa's dad, however, does express concern over Brennon not being able to financially provide. Just because, protective father. It's like, oh, will
treatment engineer?
Will you be able to provide for my daughter,
Yeah.
Brennon talks about growing up as a kid being in and out of poverty a lot. And so that's a big thing for him as well.
Okay, so I remember seeing this couple because you made me watch this first episode where they got engaged.
Yes.
So, just based on that one episode, as well as I don't necessarily see anything that's a giant red flag here.
Yes.
There's maybe some stuff to work through, but nothing is red flag. So, just because I don't have anything largely pushing me a certain way, I'm going to say they got married and they're still together.
Okay.
That was really shitty, though, of the producers to make her I'm a little bit curvier than some of the girls. She's not. Yeah. She's an average-sized woman.
Yeah.
That is really shitty of y'all to do that. So, yeah, no, I'm going to say married, still together. I don't have anything that's really assuaging me the other way.
Are you ready to find out?
Yes.
Wait, married, still together?
Married, still together.
Yes. Okay. Married and together for now.
Well, where did the "for now" come from? Is there something that came up?
This season wrapped up filming in June. They've been married for 6 months.
Okay. Oh, and he's a Christian and he's wearing the yarmulke too.
It was a big thing.
That's very nice.
For them to
That's very
and they
nice.
Broke the glass together. Yeah, it was really cute. But yes, you are correct.
Yeah, I didn't have anything too much to
say
that they didn't. There wasn't anything
no,
really.
Literally, I didn't see a single problem with them throughout the film.
So you were kind of scrambling to try to make it a little more even trying to stuff to present to me.
This is also why I put them first.
Okay. Too easy. Up
next, we've got Zanab and Cole.
Oh, I remember these guys.
Do you?
I remember at least Cole because I didn't like him.
So they bonded over having a shared religion. They're both Christian, Yeah, so they bonded over that. Oh, the pool party. I gotta tell you about the pool party incident. So the pool party incident. Everyone's engaged. They all have a party. They meet together, So everyone's hanging out together at this pool party, and Cole and Colleen, this other girl who we will meet later, they talk to each other, and they both admit hey, you are my physical type.
Yeah.
They both said if they met up at a bar in real life, whatever happened would happen, and this became a major point of argument for both couples involved.
Yeah, that's kind of a shitty thing to say.
So that is the pool party incident. Cole's parents did not want to meet Zanab until after the wedding.
Why?
They just didn't approve of the process.
Okay.
This is also a pretty big deal because Zanab's parents both passed away when she was young.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, pretty big deal. Zanab is very hot and cold with Cole, leading him to ask if she is bipolar. Yeah, that's pretty rough. And then Cole also had said once that Zanab was a 9 out of 10 in comparison to other girls on the show. Yeah, that's pretty rough, buddy.
Is that all the bullet points?
That is all the bullet points.
They're not together. And if they are, they shouldn't be. I'm not getting a who ended it kind of felt though, but I'm getting more fucking what. Just this guy's fucking up, you know?
Yeah.
He's just fucking up, but I don't think he has any contempt toward it. I think he's just continually fucking up is what he's doing. So I'm gonna say Zanab called it.
Right.
Just because he's just fucking up so much, man.
Final answer?
Yes. Yeah, of course.
You had it right.
Just fucking up so much, man.
Zanab had a big speech saying that Cole continually disrespected her and critiqued her, and then she laughed and her friends applauded for her. Cole did seem pretty blindsided by this.
He's fucking up.
Yeah. And then, so, there's the cuties incident.
As in the oranges?
As in the little tangerine oranges, yeah.
Okay.
So, in the reunion episode, there was a big deal made about these cutie incidents. This is the thing that you sent me in the Facebook article. I don't know if you read it all the way through. Zanab was eating 2 cuties. And then Cole asked if he was going to eat that.
So it was these guys that was.
Yes.
Okay.
So Cole asked if he was going to eat that, and he was like, you probably shouldn't eat that because we're having dinner later. But like it became a big deal because Cole was like that. Like that's not how it happened. The way that you're saying it was, And then the wild thing is the editors, they actually put in that clip. Like, unedited. Like, there's no, like, big music or any drama. It's just, like, a quiet clip of them 2 talking. So
who was right, essentially?
My hot take is that neither person is, like... They're both just bad for each other in general,
Oh, no, I don't care about that. I just want to know the cuties incident. Who was right about the cuties incident?
No one can agree. No one online can agree.
No.
Some people think Zanab's a huge bitch because, like, it's like, oh, she conflated this award to be, like, a big deal. And, like, poor Cole, she was, like, making him seem like a horrible, manipulative person.
Yeah.
And other people are like, I can't believe Cole would do this to Zanab. That's so big and manipulative, The online community are painting them both out to be, like, terrible, horrible people, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's just a little bit more nuanced than that. I think Cole, he's 26. He's still relatively young. So I think, like, the fuck-ups, probably make sense for someone in their mid-20s. I think Zanab's going through a lot as well emotionally, especially with this engagement, just because, like, she
Who's the guy walking her out?
I believe it's her stepfather.
I thought you said both her parents were gone.
Her mother, I think, remarried.
Oh, and then her mom passed.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And then there's also another incident where she claimed that this happened, but there's no proof of it happening. Like, none of the guys remember it. None of the girls quite remember it either. This is something that she claimed happened. So, it's rough. I don't think they need to be together.
No, they don't. But based on the information I was presented, this guy just keeps fucking up. He's dense or something, man.
Yeah, no, but some people were like, oh, my poor baby Cole. And I'm like, I don't think he's like a baby Cole. You don't need to, like, baby him.
I just remember that first episode was like...
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, his fashion choices are garbage also. He dresses like a white boy in Lakeview during the summertime in Chicago.
Oh. Okay. Are you ready for next couple?
Yes.
Next couple. This is Colleen and Matt. Remember when we were talking about Colleen? This is Colleen.
Okay, this is Colleen. I think I remember her.
Colleen's a ballet dancer.
That was her one thing she kept bringing up a lot.
So in the pods, Colleen does get rejected multiple times, which really...
Pobrecita.
Yeah, which really must sting, I imagine. The pool party incident,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also a big factor for them. Matt gets very angry at Colleen twice throughout the season to the point of nearly walking out or walking out already and then later coming back. The first time is after she tells him about the pool party incident.
Yeah.
And the second time is after another party, and the girls go to a bar late at night, and Matt is back at their place, and like, oh, he's upset that she's not home. It's like 2 a.m., and he's very upset. So he's like, I'm done, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And Colleen is a ballet dancer.
I'm surprised you didn't put that like multiple times in there because of how many times that clip moment where they're showing her a lot say it.
Did I mention she's a ballet dancer?
You did, yes. I remember her. Pobrecita. I feel so bad for her. I feel like she needs somebody, but not romantically. I think she needs to talk with somebody to just clear up some stuff. Mm-hmm. I remember when she got rejected by somebody. I don't remember who. But she did go on this whole thing, like how much she hates being rejected.
Yeah.
It was a big thing for her. I'm going to say it didn't work out. And I don't remember this dude. I don't remember Matt from the first episode.
Oh.
I remember her.
Mm-hmm. I do remember something I didn't add in the slide that I'm going to mention now.
Okay.
Oh, so Matt, he was previously married. So they got married pretty young.
Oh, shit.
And then she tells him that she cheated on him and is pregnant with the other person's
His
child.
ex?
Yeah, his ex tells him that she has been cheating on him and like she's pregnant with the other person. Yeah, so that causes divorce and that causes a lot of like big trust issues for Matthew.
I'm going to say Matt called it then. I'm going to say Matt called it.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, and then I think she had a mental breakdown for being rejected again. Poor thing.
No, they're married.
They really?
Yes, and together for now.
Emphasis on the for now, man.
Some people online are a little bit concerned because they're
I'm concerned. I don't even know much
Yeah.
about them, and I'm concerned.
Yeah, so they're very worried that Matt could be emotionally, abusive. Some people were mentioning in the reunion episode how like she looks terrified in the reunion episode, but that also could be for a variety of reasons.
Oh,
Who knows?
pobrecita.
Yeah, who knows? Also, at the time of the reunion, they weren't living together yet, just because like their leases were like didn't.
Oh yeah, this is a game show.
Yeah, but people were like, they're not living together yet. It
I don't
was a
think
big
that's
thing. Yeah. But they are married.
For now.
I don't know what to tell you. They're married.
I'm just worried.
I do
about
see
them.
a lot of her TikToks though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have anything that negative to say. I'm worried about them.
Sure.
I hope they're both okay.
Yeah.
I hope, if it ends, I hope it ends amicably.
Mhm. Are you ready for next couple?
Yes.
Next couple.
God, that was the scariest one so far. The fact that they're married.
Yeah. Oh no.
It just worries me for the future. Sorry. Yes.
This is Raven and SK.
She's the girl that I keep seeing in the vodka commercials
Yes.
on my algorithm.
Yes.
Okay.
She's the one that we both agree is very hot.
She is very hot.
Okay. So they got along pretty well throughout their engagement. They didn't have any big arguments or
Okay.
like fights or like big dramatic walking outs or anything like that,
He was the guy that was from Nigeria,
Yes.
right? Okay.
SK is moving to California for grad school literally 3 weeks after the wedding.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, this is being filmed in Texas. They're all in like the Dallas, Texas area.
Oh,
So
shit.
he's moving across the country, basically. Raven has a hard time adjusting to some aspects of Nigerian culture.
Like what?
So there's a moment when they meet the parents, and a lot of Nigerian food you eat it with the hands,
Yeah.
So she was really struggling with that. So she eventually uses a fork to like eat the
Okay.
food. So that's like And then there's some things where it's like oh, SK wants to have like a traditional Nigerian wedding, but like Raven also still wants to have like some aspects of like American culture in it.
Yeah.
Is
it more of just like a culture shock kind of thing?
Oh, that's what it seems like to me. And my Tina hot take, yes. Oh, also Raven would work out while in the pods. This is an issue with one of the other people that we'll talk about later.
Okay.
It's just like this guy who's like pouring out his like heart to her, and she's just like doing squats, So.
Damn.
That's all I got for you.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have to ask a question.
Yes.
I have many coming to mind, but what's the one I want to ask? How soon did SK let Raven know that, like, I'm going to California after this? Was it, like, when they were still in the pods, or was it after the engagement? Did they, like, spring it on her? Or when did he let her know that he's moving to California literally 3 weeks after a wedding?
I believe they had talked about it in the pods.
Okay, so she knew ahead of time.
But in the season, it hadn't been mentioned up until, like, later.
Okay.
So it was a shock for the audience, I believe.
Shock for the audience, but she knew going through it, though, right?
That's what I am led to believe, yes.
Okay.
Unless I'm wrong, correct me in the comments.
I am going to say, did not work out. I'm not getting any large red flags for anybody here. I think it's just a matter of bad timing.
Sure.
And I think just the fact that letting it marinate that your SO is about to be, like, in California and you have to decide to move your entire life over there.
Yeah.
Or be separate until he's coming back from school.
Mm-hmm.
That's somebody that you just married. That's your husband.
Yeah.
And just, it's not a big deal. A little, like, culture shock to it.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that might add a little bit of something to just stuff to build on top of it, of just like, well, he's going there, and there's also this. In reality, they're not big things, but when they start to add up and just the larger part of the stress that comes with this, probably not going to work out. And the fact that she continued to work out well in the pause, and you said even when somebody was bearing their soul, she cares about like what she does. Since she's a Pilates instructor.
Yes.
Did she work at like a gym or something, or did she own her own place?
I don't know.
Okay, I just feel like she's very motivated in what she does, which is great.
Business gal.
Yeah. So she may be more hesitant to leave where she's done all this extra stuff, and she's got like a real notable following and career in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Given Pilates in California, you're gonna crush it in California.
Yeah.
If you did Pilates instructor in California, you're gonna make more money.
Oh yeah.
But she seems like career driven, wants to do it. Again, all those things, when they add together with the stress of just moving away, might create a reason for her to just want out and maybe date afterwards. Yeah. So I'm going to say they didn't get married. She called it, but maybe they dated. This is a little extra, a little flourish on that. They maybe dated a little bit afterwards. Sure. Maybe dated a little bit afterwards.
So you're saying married, Raven said no, and then maybe dated a little bit afterwards.
Yes.
Okay.
SK said no.
SK said no.
Really?
Yeah.
What was his reasoning?
So SK also said a lot of things that you said. There are too many external factors playing in. The fact like he's moving and how his family and culture is really important to him. You know, there's just too much. Like that's not going to work out for them at this particular moment. They did continue to date after this.
Okay.
Until very recently. They broke up fairly recently. There's a huge scandal that's going on right now, where some girl online is claiming that SK was cheating with her. But this apparently also requires lawyers. Apparently there's like a big lawsuit happening because they're like no, this isn't true, you know. It's
slander essentially.
So a lot of it's very hush hush, but they said they broke up, but like they also can't share too much at this current time. So there's a lot of people like, did SK cheat? Did SK not cheat? We don't know for sure. Okay. So this is all TBD.
Okay, so I was wrong about the person who said no. Yes. Did she say yes? Huh? Did she say yes? Like who went first?
I think SK went first.
SK went first, so we don't know her answer essentially.
No.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I feel like I got a good amount on that one right.
Yeah.
Nice. Good deal. Proud of myself. Way to go.
This is the last couple that's coming up. You are currently at 20 points.
Ooh.
So this is for, pride. This is Nancy and Bartise.
Nancy and Bartise. Okay.
There's a little joke that runs on where like online no one gets Bartise's names right. They keep saying like Barnacle or Barnaby or.
Who says what?
It's okay. I don't know how this joke came about, but that's what I like to tell you. Nancy was also interested in Andrew, but ultimately turned him down.
Who was Andrew again?
Andrew is eye drops guy.
Oh, the guy who kept talking about miniature.
Yes.
Okay.
That's Andrew. Yeah, but she ultimately turned him down. Nancy owns a house with her ex-partner, and they work together on, like, renting it out.
Okay. I don't think that's necessarily a problem.
Bartise was also interested in Raven, and he told Nancy that Raven is his physical type.
That's just a mean thing to say.
At one point in their engagement, they have a conversation about abortion, and they have differing views.
Oh, I guess that's a larger question for did politics come out at any point during this show with any couples?
Like major politics?
Like somebody's explicitly saying like, well, I vote Democrat, I vote Republican.
That never came up in any final edits of the show. Okay. I'd imagine they probably talked about it while in the pod.
But they wanted it to be like
yeah, it never became a big thing like in the final edit of the season that was presented to us.
They wanted everybody to seem more moderate in the final cut, I guess.
I don't know, Greg. I don't know what to tell you. They got permanent bracelets together before the wedding.
What's a permanent bracelet?
So it's one of those bracelets that it's basically like a chain, and then like you put it on, and then the people you get it at the place.
I'm gonna put my arm because I feel like.
And then they solder it, so then there's no chain on it, so it just stays on your wrist.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, but the idea is like it's permanent. It's like our bond together.
No, I don't like that.
So sometimes couples will get together. Sometimes like siblings will get it together.
Yeah.
But that's just the idea. It's like that you can't take it off.
That's not a problem with the relationship. That's a problem with jewelry for me.
It can be cut off in cases of medical emergencies.
Oh, I'm sure. I know it. Sure, it could be. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like I like to take some stuff. I used to wear bracelets and
Yeah.
chains back in the day when I was in high school, Catholic school.
I'm learning so much about you.
Yeah, like the crosses around the neck and stuff, as well as like the axe bracelet too. Yeah, so it's yeah. Oh God! First off, I'm pissed off for this guy. I remember this guy from the first episode. He didn't seem that bad to me. But that was just the first episode. But just telling the person you're dating that you're actively comparing her to another woman is just scumbag.
Yeah. Time out. Okay. Time in.
So yeah, he's just scum.
Yeah.
We had a cut for that moment to fix the thing, but I want to make sure to emphasize this. That's a scummy thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Don't compare women's bodies.
Uh-huh.
Whether you're dating or not, or even think about it. Don't compare women's bodies.
Mm-hmm.
What do I want to ask? I feel like I need more information here.
Yes.
I don't have a specific question. I guess, Tina, what information out of the answers you have on your little sheet there would be pertinent for me to know?
I guess I could clarify their differing views about abortion, right?
Okay.
So they're neither of them are like, oh, you're killing babies, neither of them are like that. Bartise just believes that, like, basically you get one fuck up. You get one chance to, like, make a mistake happen, like, get the abortion,
So basically what he's saying is he got somebody pregnant, he made them get an abortion.
He didn't say anything like that. Nancy said that she would consider abortion if she knew the child was going to be special needs. She explains this later in the show. She works as a speech pathologist, so she works with a lot of kids who are special needs. And she works with them firsthand. So it's just like she knows it's something that she would not be able to handle personally. Okay. So like I know it's a tough decision.
I'm not saying anything because it's a tough decision. It's a
real tough decision.
I'm not going to say anything because I can't be put in that position. So I'm not going to say anything about that. So that's why
she didn't say she was going to do it or not going to. She said she would just consider it.
No, this face isn't like a thing. It's just that's a rough. Yeah. That's a very rough topic.
And then when they met Bartise's family, Bartise did bring up this discussion. And then Bartise's sister is like basically brought to tears where she's because Bartise's sister's very like, children are special. They're a special gift, So yeah, meeting the family went rough.
Okay. I'm going to say they did not end up together. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to make a guess on it. Nancy called it. Just a guess.
So it's not together and Nancy said no?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah. Bartise said no.
Bartise said no.
Okay.
Can you believe that? So Bartise said that all the issues that they had in the real world didn't match up with their experience in the past, and that's why he said no. This led to a big, very dramatic, like, peak reality TV moment. Nancy's family got really upset. So Nancy and Bartise, they tried to get a private moment to, like, talk things out and stuff. But Nancy's family was just, like, coming after him. And he was like, please, we need a woman alone. And they're like, no, you're making a mistake, blah, 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 and blah, blah. Big yelling, big family fight, But yeah, Bartise said no.
What was her response after? After their one-on-one. Did they ever get a full one-on-one or no?
They found a moment later, but she was like, I feel like everything's like meaningless. She's like, I said yes, you said no. You know what? Couldn't be more clear. She like cut it off like almost immediately. She's like, I want to take this off. This means nothing to me now.
Yeah.
Bracelet. Yeah.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
Did they have a reunion thing?
They did have a reunion episode. It doesn't seem like they're together at this point, which was probably for the better.
Probably.
Yeah.
Don't compare women's bodies. That's just
Yeah. So that is the end. I didn't make an ending slide, Greg.
Okay.
That is the end of
our
game.
So I got I made 21 points.
You got 21 points,
Ooh.
which means you win a kiss.
Oh, and you're going to pull a candy. Yeah. Look. I knew from the beginning that she was going to do this. Not because she told me, but because she's done this before.
You've done this from the beginning?
Yes, I knew from the beginning.
I thought I was going to bamboozle you in some way.
No, you've literally done this to me the last 3 times I've come to visit at your place. Oh, it's a little melty.
It was in my pocket.
Your body warm. I got to eat it before it melts. Hold up. I'm going to get this.
Greg, I want to ask you the question while you're eating your melted Hershey's Kiss. Is love blind?
In terms of could this experiment typically
work? Just do you think love is blind? That's a question they ask all the couples at the end of the season.
The way I'm taking it is literally, can you be with someone regardless of what they look like? Essentially, that's kind of putting aside it. I feel like physical attraction is part of it. If you're not sexually attracted to somebody, it's probably going to be a more harder uphill battle in just terms of those raw instincts, I guess, to say.
Raw instincts.
What am I thinking for? Not raw instincts. I feel like I think it's part of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What's really sticking to me, it's the dumbest thing. There was a movie, Jamie Foxx played Ray Charles. And Ray Charles did the scummiest thing also.
Oh.
Ray Charles also famously philanderer and just like cheated on his wife all the time.
Uh-huh.
Ray Charles is literally blind.
Yes.
But he's literally grabbing girls' wrists and like feeling it to see it in his way of seeing if they were big or not.
Yeah.
He literally is able to like touch them and stuff, but like when he's dating them, but no. He opts to do this to see as like, that is just a garbage thing. That's an actual blind person doing that, you know? I do feel like sometimes in society we put too much prioritization in what somebody looks like, and I think that's what the motto of what they're trying to focus on here. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like attraction is kind of part of it, you know? Mm. If you're not attracted to somebody, that's just more of a thing to get past, you know?
So, do you think love is blurry?
Was that an answer?
No, I'm kidding. I'm just messing with you.
Okay. In regards to what this show is, no, I don't think love is blind in this. I'm also waiting, even on the good couples, to hear when they eventually get divorced.
Oh.
And it's not based on, like, the other person not thinking the other one's attractive. It's solely just because I don't believe in these just reality TV show marriages. I think in the Bachelor's infinite year history, there's only been one couple that's gotten married and stayed married. Yeah. Mm.
Well, Greg, thank you for joining me on this.
Thank you for having me, Tina.
Where can people find you on the internet, Greg?
On Twitch. I do video game stuff. Mm-hmm. It's Mongonzo14 on Twitch. Mm-hmm. Which kind of says a lot about your boyfriend. It's just like you just have a boyfriend that just like does streaming and video game things.
Do you want to do my call to action, Greg?
What's your call to action?
You just tell people like, comment, and
subscribe. Okay. So thank you. Oh, I'm gonna do the thing from my stream essentially.
Okay.
Just say so. Thank you all for joining today and watching today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. We had fun with it. I had fun with it because I was the guest. Tina obviously is having a great time from that face right there. But all of y'all should like, comment, and subscribe on this video. I believe we had some questions for you that Tina didn't have answers to. If you want to put them in the comments, like it, share it, subscribe to her channel, and maybe I will be back to do more of them.
I said like, comment, subscribe like 3 times.
You gotta re-emphasize, Tina. You gotta let them know. Don't let them sleep on it.
Okay.
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 Do we say bye now?
Yeah, we just say goodbye. I don't really have a phone.
Goodbye, internet people.
Goodbye. Oh, it's time to be real.
Are we gonna be real on here?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, it's time to. We're done being real.
We're done being real. We're going back to fake world of reality television.